Ooh, auto chaps, I'm MagicalMike2, in fact. Lion's Arch got invaded, the red mist descended, the perpetrator? Well, it was Scarlet, of course it was. It's not like we needed any more clues, but even the miasma is scarlet coloured. The whole area is a war zone. It's been sealed off to the public because of this deadly gas that covers the whole area. Every hour the zone opens up and the Lion Guard, along with a few other notable faces and groups, try to wrestle control of it back in their favour, or at least just evacuate a bunch of people. Marjorie, Casimir, Brahm, Rox, Ellen Keel, Captain Magnus and many faceless Lion Guard and Order members from the Whispers, the Dermot Priory and the Vigil can be seen directing, fighting, chatting and generally having involvement with the evacuation attempts. There's a lot more familiar faces to be seen as well, like Evan Nashblade and Kanak, but I'd be here for a while if I went on to everybody's little stories, so you can go and find out for yourselves. The opening cutscene was pretty neat. It was cool to see an introduction like that rendered in-game, even if it was just the trailer footage that we'd previously seen. I still enjoyed those 20 seconds or so. I have to say that the patch has rocked back and forth for me between being really great and being just below average. I think it really depends on my mood or what I'm actually doing inside of Lion's Arch at the time, but let me get into why I think this way. For example, when I first got in, it was amazing, without a doubt. The atmosphere really grabbed me, and the chaos of players not knowing what to do, coupled with the quick fire events and the crazy escort speeds, was almost immersive. I think it might be the closest I've actually come to being really interested in the gameplay in a very long time. However, after I figured things out a little bit and started zerging, hold on, I know it isn't a Zerg friendly patch, the Zerg phase was easily the worst part. The events scaled way out of control, failures were everywhere, it was impossible to get credit for the escorts, and it was overall just another skin over the same old stuff. After I finished the achievements though, which were quite reasonable and kind of fun as well, and I'd realised how everything actually works, I now think that the gameplay is pretty fun. Again, it depends how you play it to some extent, but I find it quite relaxing, relaxing, in a warzone environment, to run around as a staff ellie or an engineer. I help citizens, I jump into the events with smaller player numbers, I collect the heirlooms every day, and I find that to be a fun distraction from grinding dungeons all day. There's a lot of mechanics and things to talk about, like how each type of event works, how many people is best to have at each kind of event, or spread out across the map, where citizens are to save, where the heirlooms are. There's a lot of mechanics, but I think it's best if you just sort of work it out for yourself, for the most part. Unless you want the achievements, then go ahead and use Dulphy as always. Aside from the Lion's Arch evacuation itself, there's other stuff to mention, like Scarlet being nowhere to be found, like Hohotron/Helotron having some continued subplot, like Evan Nashblade's also continued story, etc, etc. You can find a lot of little extra things in the refugee camps in Lornaz Pass, in Bloodtide Coast, and in Gandharan Field at the Vigil Keep, and if you don't take the time to go and talk to those seemingly insignificant NPCs, you'll end up missing out on some small but great conversations. And that's a huge shame. I hated this patch at first because I thought it was another Zerg fest, until I talked to all the NPCs and realised that there's a lot of hidden gems in it, and now I think it's a lot better than I originally did. The problem here is that I think ArenaNet should perhaps consider forcing these dialogues on people a little bit more. Without me checking those camps, I would have thought completely differently of this patch, and I would have hated it. Thanks to those little stories though, I've definitely been converted and I'm now on the other side of the fence, and I think it's a lot better. It is almost like they hid the good stuff that I was asking for though, which is kind of strange, but you know, ArenaNet, they always do kind of strange things. So I took some convincing about this patch, but overall I like it, and recommend at least going in casually and having a look at the chaos that's currently going on. Huh. Isn't that weird? I don't recommend that Zodiac gem store armor though, what a strange set. And on that bombshell, thanks for watching and I will see you guys next time.